Thanks, Lauren. And thanks everyone for coming, and thanks to our guests from Maple Leaf and our staff who are all here on this very special day for Hamilton. And it's special well beyond the issue of the wonderful investment, which is great and unprecedented, and we're thrilled. But the subtext is just as crucial for our city, because a leading Canadian company has chosen Hamilton, and chosen Hamilton to put world-class, leading-edge food processing technology and use our workers. And this will send a message to Canadian business in a way that we could never do buying ads in the paper or on television or anything like that. They have put this huge investment in our community, which shows confidence in our community. And one of the things that we heard from Maple Leaf executives yesterday, and perhaps we'll hear it again today, is that our workforce was a key element in enabling this. Because we're a city that traditionally makes things. We make steel, we make sausage, we make railway cars, we make things. And that kind of a workforce is different in different locations. I mean, if I wanted a banker, I'd sure go downtown in Toronto. But if I want somebody who knows how to show up on a shift and put in 8 or 10 or 12 hours of work, depending on the shift, we've shown that all through our history. So it's critical to understand that Canada is looking at us, and they certainly are, because in the restructuring and the right sizing of the company, there are other cities across Canada that were involved. And Hamilton is being published in their media, in newspapers and radio and television, as the successor to the earlier facilities. And I know some of those facilities. I worked in Kitchener. And one of the problems when you're dealing with technology and manufacturing is that at some time you have to renew it. You can't just keep going with old technology. So this is something that I want you to understand, that everyone needs to understand it. This commitment to Hamilton goes way beyond the simple finding some space and knowing there's a highway located. It's got to do with the whole picture, the community, the staff that worked on this, the workforce that's going to make the profits for Maple Leaf working in their facilities. So another thing that has to be understood is that in the election campaign, a lot was said about an arm's length economic development group that would go out and find business and bring it back to us. I don't think this could possibly have happened under a structure like that. There was so much confidentiality involved. Everything had to be in-house. All of the different departments that were brought together, the growth management, the economic development, the planning, the building, the strategic planning, corporate services and finance, public works, transit, surveys, water and wastewater, legal services, clerks, community services. How do you bring all that together in an extremely confidential manner? Because you understand now that so many communities were involved, and it was something that the company had to keep in-house until the time was right. And we did that with their team led by Tim McCabe and Neil Everson, and they did a fantastic job. And we should all be proud of that, and proud that we kept that intact. And not only that, our council invested more money so that they could go and do their thing and bring back to us the good news. And that's what they keep doing. How much good news have they brought back to us? Tim Hortons with the roasting facility in Ancaster, the Canada Bread, the Cadbury expansion. We're making food, we're making products here. Parrish and Heimbecker, $10 million grain storage terminal. Richardson's from Winnipeg, $5 million expansion on theirs. So we've got the grains, we've got the bread, we've got the protein products that are coming out there. We have Bunge, just did a $60 million expansion processing soy. So 2/3 of Hamilton is rural agricultural, over $1 billion in business from that sector alone. And people keep saying to me, well, you know, all those old steel mills and nothing's happening in Hamilton. Well, there's so much happening in Hamilton in so many sectors. But I'm particularly proud of the agricultural sector because, as I say, we have lots of space. We have people who know how to work in those industries, and it is an element, it's essential to the growth of a nation. So we have to have companies that can produce food and produce it competitively, because the executives, and I'm sure Mr. Young will tell you, that the margins are very tight in this kind of business. And there's not a lot of money to throw around. The investment has to be focused, and I'm not going to say the risk, but when companies make decisions, they say, well, should we do this or do that? And okay, based on our best guess, we're going to Hamilton. We've got to make that work for them. Our workers have to make it work for them, and we have to understand that if they don't sell their products, it all closes down and nothing happens. So it's a really exciting thing for a mayor and a council to be a part of, to see our city grow, to take the next step, and especially, as I said in the beginning of my remarks, the confidence that a major Canadian and really international company has shown in our city to make this kind of investment twice now is something that it's hard to understand. How I felt giddy last night when I was considering all of this. I just want to mention too that the pieces were put in place slowly over the past several years, because going back to 2005, the provincial government and the federal government gave us grants of $20 and $10 million to put the road extensions and the infrastructure in place. I mean, they couldn't possibly have come to us and said, can you start working on getting some roads and sewers? And Tony Sergi's group had everything pretty much in place, and even redundancies, because these big companies have to have reliable sources of water and energy and so on, and we're providing that to them. But it was all the pieces were slowly put in place. And so a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, when people were complaining, oh, there's nothing happening, and why is everything going to Brantford? It's not. It's coming here to Hamilton. So once again, I want to thank our new friends from Maple Leaf, actually old friends, because several hundred Hamiltonians work in the Burlington operation. We're integrated in those terms. But on behalf of my council colleagues and the residents of the city of Hamilton, I want to thank you so much for not only making this great investment, for giving us a boost and telling us, you know what, Hamilton, you're a pretty darn good city. We want to invest in you. Thank you for that.
Well, thank you, and thank you again, Mr. Mayor. I'm certainly excited and very honored to be here today. As you know, Maple Leaf Foods yesterday announced plans to invest approximately $560 million to establish a world-class, highly efficient prepared meats network. This includes the new $395 million prepared meats facility that will be built right here in Hamilton. To our knowledge, this is the single largest investment in the food industry in Canada and will increase our competitiveness on a global scale. This investment, combined with the $100 million bakery recently built here in Hamilton, Maple Leaf will have invested approximately $500 million in the city by the end of 2013, and not to mention the $60 million invested in other facilities we actually have located here as well. And once the new plant is operational, we will be one of the top 3 employers in Hamilton. These world-class facilities position Hamilton, as the Mayor just mentioned, as a centerpiece for the food industry in Canada, creating many economic benefits for the city and the province. You have it here. Actually, this new prepared meats facility will be the largest, most modern in Canada. It will be a single-story facility with an enclosed shipping area and a single-direction continuous flow layout, which optimizes the production efficiency compared to the multi-story facilities that many older plants have today in this industry. It will be located in the Red Hill Business Park on close to 50 acres, located near the corners of Glover Road and 20 Road. This plant will be our center of excellence for hot dogs and deli meats production, and will consolidate production from 5 plants across Canada, including our existing plant here in Hamilton, and into this one facility. There will be no slaughter operations in the Hamilton plant, now or ever. I want to repeat that. There will be no slaughter operations in this facility now or ever. This is a value-added prepared meats facility, bottom line. We will invest in new technologies that will step change productivity, further enhance product quality and food safety. These include fully automated continuous cook and chill equipment, best-in-class slicing and packaging equipment, robotic loading. While these technologies are used and proven globally, this will be a first of their kind in Canada. New technologies will also support our innovation platform, such as further reducing preservatives and sodium in our products while maintaining shelf life. In many cases, equipment will be capable of supporting multiple packaging, such as zipper packaging, as well as reclosable, as well as portion packs. So we expect to create 750 jobs here in Hamilton during the construction phase and 670 permanent jobs upon completion, as well, of course, as additional seasonal jobs to meet fluctuating demand. These new positions and the technologies we'll utilize will help our people develop new skills and experiences. The plant will also support many secondary jobs in the local economy. So in some of the specifics, construction is scheduled to start in the first half of 2012 with completion in 2014. We anticipate the facility will be fully up and running by the end of 2014. Specific to the hot dog category, as I said, there's hot dogs and deli sliced meats. Hot dogs will be introduced to the plant first. So that will be in towards the end of 2013 and then well into the early part of 2014. Our new facility will employ the highest standards of environmental management, and like our new bakery, we will be one of only a handful of Canadian manufacturing facilities to be built with LEED Silver certification. Among other things, these include a high solar reflecting roof to reduce heat load effects in the plant, high efficiency lighting to decrease energy consumption, building materials sourced locally and consisting of recycled content, and design features to capture process heat and recycle energy back into the building in various process, and therefore a significant reduction in our carbon footprint. Through this investment, we look forward to building even stronger ties, of course, with the City of Hamilton. The Red Hill Business Park is a great location for us. It provides us with the necessary acreage, highway access, land features, and access to a very skilled labor force. We also appreciate that the city plans to extend public transit to the Red Hill Business Park, which is good for our employees, for the environment, and to support further development of the park itself. This $395 million strategic investment is the centerpiece of our plan to establish a world-class, highly competitive prepared meats network. We are pleased to be locating this flagship plant here, and it reflects our true belief in the City of Hamilton. So thank you, Mayor, and the City, for yet again welcoming us in. Thank you.
So thank you for all attending. I want to tell you that we're very happy to be home to yet another Maple Leafs food facility. Staff from the city and Maple Leaf Foods have really developed a good working relationship. We've worked hard together, and I can emphasize together, to make this happen. And as an economic development department, a planning department, and myself as the general manager, we're smart enough to continue our relationship with Maple Leaf Foods after the winning Canada Bread plant. We understood, because we're in the investment field, we understood that they were looking at restructuring and transformational initiatives with their other productions. So we continued our relationship with Maple Leaf following Canada Bread, and that was an important part of the strong relationship that made them come back so that we could work towards this project. So we have, as a city staff, as an economic development strategy, as a council, continued to put a focus on attracting clean manufacturing companies and diversifying our economy. And this Maple Leaf plant is certainly a great example of this focus. So on behalf of the city manager and the Planning and Economic Development Department and all the city departments and the staff that work so hard on this, I would like to extend my thanks to Maple Leaf Foods for their investment and confidence in the city. And you heard Rick Young talk about his belief in Hamilton, and it's always good to hear, what we already know. And when I asked them in the end result after the decision, why they chose Hamilton, why we won this, it's because Hamilton continues to attract investment due to a number of factors. And, the proximity of our location, our geography, the proximity to the 400 series highways, the Red Hill Parkway, our site features, access to skilled workforce. So it's not just labor force, they emphasize to me, it's the quality of our labor force. So they've had a lot of good success with the workers that they've hired at Canada Bread. And Rick also mentioned our commitment to extend public transit, very essential to big plants like this. And most importantly, our people. Canada Bread, recent experience with city staff, they knew we had the tools and we had the focus to make things happen. And they've told us that. So this strong and effective working relationship with all the people that can make things happen, working together as a team, was an essential part of why they had this confidence as well. So this investment is the single largest investment in food industry in Canada ever. And Maple Leaf Foods represents a growing anchor to our city. Rick mentioned that it's now the third largest employer in the city. And we anticipate having more success in bringing other companies to home in terms of locating in Hamilton in the food manufacturing industry.